know whether it was broken by the driver along the way or that it was actually as it came from Brazil? Did you know anything about it? Did you ask any questions?
No, I will be lying.
So you arrest the driver even though the container has an original seal, presumably from the original point of departure in Brazil. You arrest the driver even though he didn't put in these drugs in the truck.
By the virtue of him being the driver from Devon, we arrested him based on that.
You arrested him for driving the drugs?
For transporting the drugs.
Yes, driving the drugs.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
Warrant Officer Makhane, you came here to testify and assist the Commission to the best of your at least recollection of what transpired. What I really need is for you to be very pointed on some of the issues. More often you refer to the royal we, and you are here to testify for yourself. There come a point whether you did it or Mr. Mashaba or Chief Mashaba did it. So it can't be both. You can't be singing in unison at all times.
I hear you, Commissioner.
Yes. Now let's start at paragraph 18. When you say, so on page 7, paragraph 18, where you say, we also interviewed the driver. Is it you or is it Chief Mashaba?
Both of us.
That can be. How's that possible?
I mean, if you asking a question, I'm also here, and so it will be you asking a question. When you answer, then I also pose my question.
Then the very same sentence, the very next sentence, you say, we placed the driver of the truck.
No, this one, it was, the arrest part was done by Chief Mashaba.
Mashaba.
Yes.
Okay. Please, the next time we see the word we, and where it's possible, let's try to identify whether it's you or Mashaba as we move on, please. No, that's fine. For now, I'll take that. Let's move on to paragraph 19. I'm just saying, keep in mind when you see the word we, try to identify who said what, who did what.
Point taken, Commissioners.
Thank you so much. Let's go then to paragraph 18. While busy at the scene.
While busy at the scene and waiting for other SAPS members to arrive, 2 members from Poisons Vispol, Sergeant Doe and Constable Mkwambiri, arrived in a marked police buggy and told us that they have received a call from 10-111 about people who were impersonating to be police officers.
Just to be clear, while waiting for other SAPS members, you're still referring to Pakula.
That's correct.
And whoever you're hoping he has called.
Yes.
Because you haven't called anyone else.
No, it was still Pakula.
Thank you.
We then identify ourselves and explain the reason for our presence at that premises, and even showed them the bags that were recovered. We also showed them the arrested suspect, and they understood and even gave feedback to 10-111 via radio control. Though immediately after we had a bit of an argument with them, because without even asking how they can assist, they asked us where we are going to book the suspect and the exhibit. I told them that we were likely to go book the suspect and exhibit in Alberton area because the scene started in that area. But we were still waiting for relevant role players to come and decide.
What do you mean the scene started in that area?
I was referring to I was referring to the fact that where we first went in Rodikop before we came to Ayrton.
So you're being in Rodikop, you're saying that's what determines, that's where the sin started, your physical presence. Is that what it means, that the sin started there?
I would say that, but technically so, commissioners. It brought some discomfort to us that members will come from Norway. We understand they got a complaint from Tentreploa. Upon arrival, they are now asking about the place where the exhibit will be booked and the suspect. I didn't meant that those things, I was just pulling their legs.
So you were lying to them?
Not lying necessarily.
No, it is.
Testing their...
You were being untruthful to them. If now you say you were just pulling their leg, you were not telling them the truth when you said to them, we are going to book this in Alberton. You've just said it wasn't the truth as you said it.
No, not in the context of telling lies.
It wasn't the truth.
I would say so, but Commissioner,
So what was the plan with these drugs? Where were you going to take them? Now we've established that it wasn't true that you were planning to take it to Alberton. Where were you planning to take these drugs?
These drugs were going to be booked at Poisons, and the suspect were going to be booked at Poisons.
Okay. So when you say that we are still waiting for relevant role players to come and decide, what were you conveying? Because this is your statement.
This is my statement, I agree.
So what were you conveying when you said we're still waiting for the role players to come and decide? If you've already decided they will go to Poison.
No. This was just additional to do. But the fact of the matter was that, and even even procedurally dictates that because the drugs were found in Ayrton, that is where the suspect and the exhibit must be put.
So these police officers would have known that. So you were not pulling their legs in any meaningful way because you say procedurally. That's how it's supposed to happen. So these police officers, you would not have any reason to argue with them because you say we started arguing about after they asked that. And I'm saying, well, they knew. You say they knew because procedurally, that's what happens. So they wouldn't have asked the question if they knew that these would have to be booked in Poisons. In fact, they would have told you these must go to Poisons.
That is why I'm saying...
Which makes me ask the question, when you answered the way you did, when you took these drugs and put them on the van, because they are on your van, and there's just you and Mashaba there, what was the plan? Poisons is not yet there, these police officers. They arrive, they ask questions, you say, well, the crime scene started there. And I asked you, why Alberton? You said, because that's the original crime scene. That's where it started. That's why Alberton. So I accept that explanation on face value. That's where the scene started. So yeah, on your reasoning, you would have gone to Alberton.
But rightfully, it was the drugs were not going to, the drugs including the suspect, we were not going to book them in Alberton. And because another thing, commissioners, it was very strange. Sergeant Ndo, it's a sergeant. Why was he asking?
No, forget Ndo and why he's asking. Let's talk about you.
That's correct.
You did not report yourselves to Poison Police Station. Commissioner Kumalo asked you the question earlier. that we've had other evidence where people who are operating outside of their jurisdiction, they go and report. We were told that's what you do. You did not do that. Boysons doesn't know you're around. Boyson doesn't know that you've got this amount of drugs. You haven't called Boyson to ask them, do you have space for this? But you say to us, well, they are on your truck. You had already decided they will go to Boyson. Make that make sense.
Commissioner, the answer that I'm giving to the commissioners is exactly what was going to happen. The trucks and the exhibit were going to be booked at Boyson. And Commissioner, just to take one step back, I'm trying to answer to the question, the previous question that was raised, that why I didn't phone 10111. You know, as chaotic as the scene unfolded, it was because this thing was sent to the radio control. That's why more police started flocking in.
The question asked about 10111 was long before the chaos. Was about long before the chaos happened. You were asked the question. You have an informer, according to Mashaba, who says there are drugs there. You go there. You go to Yellow Jersey. It's just the two of you and your informer. And then you proceed from there. You go to Scania, and it's you, Mashaba, and your informer and the security from Scania, and the employee, from Yellow Jersey, the security man, and then you've got Scania people, Wenzel and somebody. So there's no chaos at that point. The question was asked in that context, that when you arrived there, why did you, as you are calling all of these other people on your way, and when you arrive there, you're calling all of these people to come and help you, and many of them are not available, why did you not call 10111? The answer can't be because of chaos, because at that point there is no chaos. Nothing has happened yet.
I agree.
You haven't even opened the container. The drugs haven't yet fallen out. There's nobody else. So it's a different conversation altogether. So it has nothing to do with this.
I agree.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I just understand this? Was it your intention to transport these bags either to Boyson's police station or Alberton in this bakkie of yours without a canopy uncovered? How did you plan to move those bags from Erroton to wherever you were going to book them?
Commissioner, I would definitely wouldn't have risked to transport these trucks without proper escort and without like in an open park like this.
But you hadn't called any escort.
No.
You had only called Pakula, and if he hadn't arrived, what would you have done?
No, Commissioner, the scene was still far from over. We were not going to leave until the scene was properly handled and everything processed at the scene.